Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is round two of our Pokemon Day Switch deck between rounds if you want tournament that happened at Die Hard Games on February 27th, 2025. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, featuring casual and tournament play of whatever format everyone wants. League Challenge, March 13th at 6 p.m. Journey Together pre-releases start March 15th at 1 p.m. and League Cup March 29th at 12 p.m. All Central Time, all at Die Hard Games. Go see more info in this video's description and check out Pokemon's event locator for premiere and other events at the shops featuring league challenges, league cups, pre-releases, and more. Please hit that like button right quick. Subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, say what you need to say in the comments, and all that other good free stuff. But anyways, let's research this game. On the left, Dragapult. On the right, Charizard. Our Charizard EX player is going first with Cleffa in the active spot. They've got a Buddy Buddy Poffin, so I think they're going to be okay as long as they have some follow-up with that. As they put a Disc on the bench and then play that Buddy Buddy Poffin. That allows them to search their deck for up to two basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less to put onto the bench. Double Charizard, or Charizard, Charmander, I believe, will be found here if there are none in the hand. There's Charmander number one. You, of course, want to get, oh, I'm actually going to go for the Pidgey. Okay, that's pretty important too in the Charizard deck. Depends on what else is in hand, also the player's strategy and prize cards, I guess, too. But either way, Charmander and Pidgey are found here. Charizard EX in the hand. Ultra Ball in hand as well, but actually going to go for this early Lumineon V, putting it on the bench, activating its ability, allowing the player to search their deck for a supporter card to put into the hand. Arven will be found here for next turn. I probably would have waited on the Lumineon V and benched it when I was going to play the supporter that it searched for. Um, but just players have different strategies, and also I don't have perfect knowledge of their hand and deck contents, so they may know something I do not as they pass over to our Dragapult player on the left-hand side. And the Dragapult player taking some shortcuts here, playing a Buddy Buddy Poffin and Nest Ball at the same time. Remember, the Poffin allows them to search for two basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less to put onto the bench, and the Nest Ball allows them to search for a basic Pokemon with any HP to put onto the bench. So Nest Ball finds the Pheasantipity EX. Discal was there already. So we're debating on the second Pokemon with the Poffin, and it of course has to be that Dreepy. Maybe even going double Dreepy here would be good, but so is slowing down your opponents by making them not play items with Budu, you know. So we resolved those two item cards there. Got some dudes on the bench. Duskull in the active spot. And now an Arven is played. Our player going second can play a supporter on their first turn, and that's this Arven that allows them to search their deck for an item and a tool card to put into their hand. Arven will find the rare candy as the item and the sparkling crystal, a spec pink card. You can only play one a spec card in your deck. Those will go to the hand. Sparkling crystal will allow the Dragapult to attack a little bit quicker or with one less energy attachment in future turns. And it looks like it was just a pass back over to our Charizard player. So decent setup. Both of our players starting with just one of their primary basic Pokemon in play. So that should be primary target for both of them, I guess, on the other side to take out. As our Charizard player starts off with an Arven of their own on the right-hand side, searching, remember, for an item card and a tool card from their deck to put into their hand. Rare Candy and Forest Seal Stone. Hit the hand now, thanks to this Arven. We're getting our prize packs, league prize packs distributed here live in this video. As our player now plays Rare Candy to allow the Charmander to evolve straight into that Charizard EX. The Infernal Rain ability being triggered with that evolution, allowing the player to search their deck for up to 3 fire energy to accelerate onto their Pokemon in any way they like. Just 2 plucked out of the deck with that ability and attached to that Charizard EX, fully powering up its Burning Darkness attack. 180 base damage. And then a Forest Seal Stone gets attached to the Lumineon V. Clefairy retreats into the Charizard EX. And then Charizard EX, 180 damage, more than KOs the opposing 60 HP Duskull for the first prize of the game. Budew with Free Retreat moves into the active spot on the left-hand side, and play will resume there. Our Dragapult player just pulled the league. Hold on, pause the video. They just pulled the league Sparkling Crystal, so I better see them swap out that regular Sparkling Crystal with the league one here, as they use Rare Candy to evolve their Dreepy straight into the Dragapult EX. Attach that Sparkling Crystal regular to that Dragapult EX. The Sparkling Crystal, of course, says when the Terra Pokemon this card is attached to uses an attack, that attack costs 1 energy less. So normally Dragapult's attack would cost Fire and Psychic. Now it just costs 1 Fire or 1 Psychic with that Sparkling Crystal attached. Budew free retreats into that Dragapult EX with the Fire energy attached. It's ready to attack now with its Phantom Dive. Counter Catcher being played now. Since the opponent has fewer prize cards remaining, the Counter Catcher acts like a boss's orders on an item card, bringing up the Lumineon V from the bench into the active spot. And then Dragapult EX uses Phantom Dive. 200 damage to the active Pokemon, knocking out the Lumineon V, and then 6 damage counters placed onto the opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like. All 6 of them going onto that 60 HP Duskull, meaning 3 prize cards this turn that Dragapult EX took. Charizard EX flies into the active spot on the right, and play resumes there. How can they respond? Now, Charizard EX's Burning Darkness attack is 180 base, but it does 30 more damage for each prize card the opponent has taken. So it's currently doing 270 damage with 3 prize cards taken. We can buff that up with Defiance Ban, 300, but Dragapult EX has 320 HP. And there we see the legal switch of the regular Sparkling Crystal with the League one. You know, you have to do that, I think. And while I was being silly, I missed what our Charizard player did there. Looks like they drew a card for turn, right? They're shuffling up their deck. Sorry, guys. We have the attack. All right, let's just go back to this sequence here of Dragapult EX KOing the fish. Thank you guys for your patience in the professor's lab here. Just want to make sure everything is reported correctly. 3 prizes taken. Charizard EX moves into the active on the right. Okay, maybe our player was shuffling their deck from previous turn. They weren't sure if they had shuffled or not after the last deck search. So, hey, opponent, could I please shuffle my deck? Or, do you remember if I shuffled my deck after the last search? No, I don't. I guess just go ahead and shuffle it. Okay, cool. Thank you. Nothing malicious or anything going on here. I just didn't catch what happened. And then that draw of that card was the draw for turn to start this next turn, Charizard's turn. Thanks again for you guys' patience, and we will move forward here in this round 2 of the Pokemon Day tournament. Yeah, maybe if a Duskull, yeah, that would be it. If a Duskull was still in play, We could get the one shot on this opposing Charizard or the KO, on the Charizard. Thornton, I guess, can make things happen, but it's a lot more likely if the Pidgeot EX is in play with the quick search, and I'm not seeing that. As our player sorts through their hand trying to figure out what's the best play, they finally decide on this Ultra Ball. Discard 2 cards, canceling Clone and Blood Moon Ursaluna EX to search their deck for a Pokemon, basic or evolution. Okay, then they find that Pheasantipity EX and put it onto the bench. With the Flip the Script ability that is live since the opponent took a KO on their last turn. Flip the Script draws 3 cards. Oh, Rare Candy is there. We're getting closer, but we gave up that Ultra Ball to pair with that Rare Candy to potentially find something like that Pidgeot. Then we most definitely could have gotten there with Arvin, I think. Or excuse me, with Thornton. But woulda, coulda, shoulda, lost vacuum. Now that item card has the player or lost zone a card. Rotom B, see you later. We don't need you anymore. In order to send a tool or stadium card in play to the lost zone. That sparkling crystal targeted there, that should be sent to the lost zone. Player put in the discard pile. That's an easy mistake to make for sure, and really just doesn't matter whether that tool's in the lost zone or the discard pile. So we'll just move forward with the game here. After the lost zone, the lost vacuum, our Charizard player looks like they're just going to swing into this Dragapult EX for 270 damage with Burning Darkness. The Dragapult EX player starts their next turn with an Earthen Vessel. That item card has them discard a card, a Dreepy this time, to search the deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, Psychic Energy put into the hand and instantly attached to the active Dragapult EX since it's sparkling crystal-less now, and then that second Fire Energy found there and put into the hand off of that sparkling crystal. Taking some shortcuts here, perfectly okay here in league play. So our player eyes up their hand and decides on an Iono next. Both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of their deck, and then draw cards from the top equal to their remaining prize cards. 3 and 5 here. Pheasantipity EX is live still too, I believe, and I don't think they used that. Looks like they're going straight into the Phantom Dive. Okay, definitely used Pheasantipity EX. Oh no, there wasn't a prize card taken. My bad. So Pheasantipity isn't live. Our player's right. I am wrong, and they are going to use the Phantom Dive to the Dragapult EX attack to deal 200 damage to the opposing Charizard EX, and then place 5 damage counters on the 50 HP Pidgey, knocking it out. And then they got 1 more damage counter to place somewhere, maybe on the Fez, since it has 210 HP, and Dragapult does 200. Yeah, there's still 1 damage counter that could be placed somewhere. Let me go back in time and see if I could catch what happened with that damage counter, unless it's incoming here. There we got the Phantom Dive, 200 to the Charizard, 5 to the Pidgey. Maybe our players didn't catch that that's a 50 HP Pidgey. Maybe they're thinking it's a 60 HP one. If we can't figure anything better out, that's the narrative we'll use just for the sake of the video. Both players are responsible for board state, of course, so we'll just move forward here. The 200 to that Charizard. I think that was the resolving the Iono there, and the draw for turn for our Charizard player on the right as they begin their next turn. Pheasantipity EX on the bench is live for them because that Pidgey was KO'd. Charmander put onto the bench there, and then Flip the Script being used to draw 3 cards thanks to that Pheasantipity EX ability. Fire Energy attached to the bench, Charmander. Unfair Stamp is live as well as Counter Catcher. But the biggest threat is this Dragapult EX, so you really want to take that out. That's on board, lined up straight away for it for our player. So I think they go for the unfair stamp. Maybe play the nest ball and establish another Pokemon on the board before. Probably a replacement Pidgey, although that's kind of risky against the Dragapult deck. But if the lone Dragapult piece is being KO'd on the other side, what's there to fear? So they put the Pidgey down with that nest ball there onto the bench. Eyeing up that unfair stamp here. Gonna shuffle up and think for a second after this nest ball, though first, and then hit the unfair stamp. Okay, for sure, go for it. That pink ace spec card, one of that the Charizard player, is the disruption one. If the opponent took a KO on their last turn, you can play that unfair stamp. Both players shuffle their hands into their deck. The stamp player gets to draw 5, and the opponent draws 2. They named that card correctly here, as the Charizard player gets a fresh 5, takes a look at them, and decides what to do next. They can play a supporter, Iono and Thornton. You don't want to play the Iono necessarily, so I'm going to go for the Thornton here. That allows them to swap a basic Pokemon on the bench for a basic Pokemon from the discard pile. Cleffa gets swapped with that Blood Moon Ursaluna EX, and oh my goodness, we just had the Paldean Fates Meowscarada EX Premier Collection raffle winner here, our Dragapult player. Nicely done there as our Charizard player continues their turn here. Just a Burning Darkness to clean up the KO on the opposing Dragapult EX. Budew with free retreat moves to the active spot and play resumes on its side. Dreepy put down onto the bench from hand. And then Buddy Buddy Poffin for the league being played here to hopefully be able to find some more Dreepy, at least one more, to try and come back in this game. Reverse Hollow Dreepy found and put onto the bench here. And then Professor's Research as a supporter, discard the hand and draw 7 fresh new cards here in this end game. 2 to 3 prize cards. Flip the Script, I think, was used there by that Pheasantipity EX to draw 3 more cards since the opponents took a KO. Energy Fire attached to the bench. Reverse Hollow Dreepy. Night Stretcher now brings back a Dragapult EX from the discard pile to the player's hand. Our player is asking, is it okay if I attach to this non-hollow Dreepy? The other player's like, sure, that's fine. I don't think either of them can evolve um, this turn. They were just both put down, right? This turn. So that really doesn't matter too much. Excellent sportsmanship we are seeing at our Pokemon League here at the Pokemon Day tournament. And then just a Budew attack. Itchy Pollen, I believe. Yep. All right, so Itchy Pollen, the Budew has that attack. It can use it for free, and then it does 10 damage, and the opponent cannot play item cards from their hand on their next turn. The Budew Itchy Pollen will do 20, since the Charizard is weak to grass. We'll see if our players catch that. Nope, they didn't, I think. 210, we'll try to keep track. It's supposed to have 220 on it. The Charizard EX, it probably is not going to matter in the end. I don't think anything malicious is going on. Both players are responsible for board state. We'll move forward as our Charizard player now puts a Duskull on the bench and then plays an Iono. Remember that research you just played last turn? Yep, shuffle all that back to the bottom of their deck with the Iono. Both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of the deck, and then draw cards from the top equal to their remaining prize cards. It looks like our the Iono player accidentally drew another card off of the Iono Looks like the players worked it out amongst themselves to repair the game state and move forward with their game and play some more Pokemon. Totally fine for that to happen. If you have questions though or unsure of anything, always feel free to call your judge over. That's what they're there for. But no problems here in this friendly tournament as the Charizard EX takes the KO on the opposing 30 HP Budu for another prize card. Dreepy is promoted. Nope, that's actually going to be Duskull, promoted into the active spot on the left-hand side, and play will resume there. EXP share attached to the bench, Dreepy, and then an Iono is played as a supporter per turn, where both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of their deck, and then draw cards from the top equal to their remaining prize cards. 2 and 2 here. Pheasantipity EX is live, I believe, for our Dragapult player. Duskull evolved into Dusclops in the active spot. Dusclops is using its Curse Blast ability to knock itself out and put 5 damage counters on the opposing Pidgey on the bench, knocking it out. Both players going down the 1 prize card here with that ability. Now the Dragapult player promotes Dreepy into the active spot. Looks like they're realizing they haven't done flip the script yet, so we're going to see that next to draw 3 cards from the top since the opponent took a prize last turn. Ultra Ball has the item card now. Discarding 2 cards, an Iono and an Arven in order to search the deck for a Pokemon, basic or evolution. And I think they're looking for that Dragapult EX. There it is. Rare Candy allows that Dreepy in the active to evolve into that Dragapult EX. Our player is working out some logistics here in the game, asking some questions, trying to figure out what's the state of the board here. Looks like all is good as we're moving forward with the turn. And it's sadly a jet headbutt because there's not a psychic energy in hand. It's a fire. So sad. That could have been game right there, right? Yep, so Dragapult EX's first attack, jet headbutt, 70 damage, bringing that Charizard up to 280. Still not getting there, not getting to the 330. Looks like our players did catch, our Charizard should be 290, right? Yeah, should be 290 because of the Budu hidden for weakness, but still not mattering here. But you see, it could. It's getting close now. Charizard EX on the right-hand side has play now as they're doing some math in their head. They are KOing the opposing Dragapult currently. As we'll see the calculator there. The 180 plus 150, basically that Charizard EX does, because it does 180 base plus 30 more damage for each prize card the opponent has taken. There we go, 150 plus 180. Let's see it, 330. More than enough to KO the opposing Dragapult EX in the end game here. Our Charizard EX player was. Very good close game our players had here too in our round two. What do you think of this video and the commentary? Please leave feedback in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you to our players for letting their game be captured so we can all learn and enjoy. And I'll see you next time in the Professor's Lab.